My name is Lara. I'm a interior stylist and a content creator. Yes, definitely. Well, I spent my career in the corporate world in marketing and communications, and 5 years ago I decided to quit, and I started a business that I shut down shortly after. And all of a sudden I was sharing some DIYs and upgrades that I did to my home, and organically things started to just happen. From there on, I started to partner with different brands for content creation, and people started asking me for help to design their homes and different spaces, and this is how everything came to be. So I guess I found my passion through sharing it through Instagram. So it's hard for me to pinpoint one style. I'm someone who likes to mix styles. What's most important to me is that a space needs to represent the person who lives in it, and no matter what that is. I don't like to just follow rules. I think rules are there to be broken, and the most important is that a space feels authentic. I like to choose elements that are really intentional and that really brings the best in a person. So it's very much the same for me. When I'm in a space, I need to just feel good, and it needs to basically help me feel creative, feel in a good mood, and be able to share this with the people that I live with. So it's the same when I design spaces for other people. This is the most important. Now, I do have some things that I lean towards more than others. I like to incorporate elements of nature a lot. I like organic elements like wood. I would say I lean a lot towards the Scandinavian style, but mixed with rustic elements as well. So yeah, I think that's kind of sums up my style. Well, if I go back when I was young, I always loved to do things with my hand. So I'd find myself doing candles and doing bags and all sorts of things, and that really brought me so much joy. And then you grow up, you go into your corporate life and life goes fast, and I kind of put this on the side, but I always loved decorating my home. And then fast forward to when I quit my job, and after a while I just felt the need to do things with my hands. I felt the need to do things to just feel good, and this is when the whole passion of DIYing came back, but then I explored it in the home arena, and this is when I started learning, started doing things that I never done before, and that's how it all started. I think that one DIY that I absolutely loved is when I designed and we created, because I do some of the DIYs with my husband, and we created a barn door, but I wanted to look like a Scandinavian design and not a traditional farmhouse barn door. And that was a DIY that a lot of people loved. And then the other one that I really, really love because it kind of pushed us and challenged us, and it's something that we had never done before. We actually built a kitchen island with concrete, and again I incorporated the wood slats for that Scandinavian feel, and I think this is a DIY that I'm really proud of. So in the beginning, it was just organically me posting on Instagram because, I had started doing it and that's it. So there was no really thought into that. But now that I do a lot of brand partnerships and different things, it's a whole process of planning what I want to do, how it will come out on Instagram. So for instance, especially with all the new features like Reels, you have so many ways of presenting the same project, and you don't necessarily want to go through each and every detail. So I have to think of planning what I film and how I film for stories versus, for instance, for a reel that will be short and sweet and show just the finished product or almost the finished product. So there is a lot of planning in what I want to show, how I want to show it, what angles do I want, and also I also plan not only for Instagram and stories, reels, and so on, but I plan for my blog as well, and I plan for Pinterest. So there's a lot of planning that goes behind the scenes when I decide on a DIY. Great question. It's something that I always have because I typically have a questionnaire when I start a project with a client, and I do include it. So far, I'd say I had one client only that was open to DIYing themselves. The rest were more, I'd rather have someone come in and do it for me. But I do integrate it because some things are really easy to do, and you don't have to wait for a contractor and so on and so forth. So it really depends on the clients, but I do propose it, yes. And if the client does want to go down that route, then I provide a whole tutorial list of instruction and so on. Paint can do miracles, and I used to think that not everything can be painted until I learned that anything and everything can be painted. From cabinets to wood to metal to hardware to fixtures to floors. So this is definitely a huge game changer. It's just about knowing what to pick and how to pick things for what material. The other thing, and it's not so much a DIY, but it's styling. A space can look so different just when you style it. You can add a lamp, add a vase, some flowers, and then the whole space changes. So it's not so much of a DIY, but it's decor. So I think just thinking about how you can style a space can bring so much to a space. So right now in my home, I think my favorite room is my living room. I usually go for a lot of whites and beige and neutrals. So I love also organic materials that I incorporate, and I love how it feels. There's also a lot of natural light, which is huge for me in a space. And I'd say the one that I least like is a space that we totally need to renovate. So in our basement, there's a room that used to be, I guess, a kitchenette or like a second kitchen that we would like to transform into a laundry / mud room. And right now it's just used as my atelier for all sorts of DIYs, especially in the winter when I don't want to go outside. I think since the past 2 years, people have realized how much home is important, and that investing in their home, and no matter what that investment is really crucial to how they feel, to their well-being. So that's one, and I think that drives and is going to drive more the design and DIY industry. The other element I think is definitely DIY is here to stay, and people have seen that it's so accessible and it's so feasible to do so much by DIYing. I think there are a lot of trends, but some of them that I believe will stay is all the organic materials, bringing nature in, being mindful of really picking intentional pieces, really also mindful of shopping local as much as possible. All the sustainability element as well, a home that's sustainable. I think we're more and more going towards that, and a lot of people, we've realized more and more how much it has an impact on our health, on our lifestyle, and on everything else. So I think, yeah, those are a few of the elements that I don't think that are necessarily trends, but you can see people are moving towards more and more. I'd say I'm passionate. When I like something, I'm all in or not at all. So I'm not a middle ground type of person. That's one. The other thing is I like learning. It's something I'm also passionate about. In many spheres, I'm constantly looking for new things, learning new things, and I think it's just so fulfilling. The third is I'm stubborn, I can say. So when I want my thing, I want my thing, and which means that sometimes if I take it back to the DIY or design, whatever, when I put my head into doing something, I'm gonna keep going until I get it, even if I'm gonna, fail, or even if I'm gonna, have to find other alternatives. So I'm just gonna keep pushing until I get it most of the times. Inspiration, I find it in many things. I love listening to podcasts. Not now, not lately, but travel is a source of inspiration. Being in nature is a source of inspiration, books. But I also love Pinterest and Instagram. So social media also is, to a degree, a source of inspiration. It's really, I think I have a wide array of things that inspire me. Sometimes it's taking a walk somewhere and something that I see grabs my attention, or something that I hear grabs my attention, and then it inspires me in some way or another. So it's varied. So the first time I came to Union and I went into the store, the first word that came to my mind is wow. I saw all these beautiful light fixtures displayed, and then I discovered that it's much more than light fixtures. There's the hardware, there's the decor, there's the furniture. The fact that Union is local is something that's great. I love local stores, and I definitely think once you know Union, it's an incontournable, it's a must. So my top 3 picks, even if it's very hard to pick. The first one is the bubble chandelier. I love the shape of it. I love that it's a statement piece, but at the same time, with the glass, it has this fragile look and subtle look to it. So this is my first pick. The second pick is the white plaster chandelier. I love the organic element. I love the shape of it, and the fact that it has the brass elements with it. It contrasts beautifully. And my third one is the artichoke light. It's also very structural, and it's a beautiful statement piece. So you can find me either on my Instagram, which is at liv.and.bloom, or through my website, livandbloom.com.